Unicorn Warriors Eternal is coming out pretty soon. So, what exactly do we know about this show? Well, first of all, the setting is steampunk Victorian London, mixed in with magic and fantasy. And we have these official descriptions from Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Discovery. Essentially, the show follows a team of 3 ancient warriors who fight an evil force throughout eternity. These 3 ancient warriors are reawakened to fight this evil. However, they are awakened too early, in the bodies of teenagers, causing their magical abilities to be damaged and their memories of who they are to be lost. So, when you watch the trailer, the narrator states that
the souls of Melinda, the powerful sorceress, Edred the Warrior Elf, and Seng, the cosmic monk, are reborn throughout time.
Now, this may seem to be saying that the 3 warriors are constantly being reincarnated, but that is not really the case, as the official descriptions of the show actually refer to what is happening as reawakening, not reincarnation. So, what is actually happening? Well, some people were given early access to episode 1 of the show and wrote up reviews, and in those, it is revealed that the giant robot, Copernicus, actually carries the souls of the 3 warriors and finds bodies to put the souls into, and the souls then take over the host bodies. Now, when you compare the original warriors to the main characters of the show, you'll notice they don't look the same. The new form of Seng, the cosmic monk, looks nothing like him, and Melinda's new form looks pretty different from what she originally looked like. However, the new form of Edred, the warrior elf, looks pretty much exactly the same. The thing is, the souls of the original warriors are not just supposed to take over the host body's minds, but they are supposed to transform their bodies into what the souls' original bodies looked like. However, while it seems Edred's awakening was mostly successful, Melinda and Seng's were not. The reason their awakenings were unsuccessful is because the new hosts are too young. Apparently, for the awakening to be successful, the souls need to be implanted into fully fledged adults. Now, because Seng and Melinda's hosts were definitely too young, not only have their memories and magical abilities been damaged, but the souls and minds of the original hosts are still present. So, in the trailer, we see Seng, the cosmic monk, communicating with his host in some sort of mental plane. And, in various interviews, the creator of the show revealed that a big part of the story is how Melinda is 2 persons in one. She has to share a body and mind with her host, who is called Emma, and they struggle over their conflicting goals. The thing is, not only was Melinda's soul forced into Emma, but it happened just as she was getting married. So, since Emma is still present in her own body, it is understandable she'd be pretty upset at Melinda's soul being forced into her. Plus, now she has Melinda's sorceress powers, which include the ability to manipulate shadows. Now, Edred is the warrior elf. We don't know a lot about Edred, except that he is Melinda's lover.
Edred, my love.
And apparently, Edred is confused at Melinda's current state. Obviously, there's a big issue here, since Melinda is with Edred, and Emma is with some other guy, but Melinda is in Emma's body. Now, as mentioned before, it seems Edred's awakening was successful, and we even see him explaining stuff to Melinda/Emma here, so he does have many of his memories.
I think I'm possessed.
You're part of a magical order sworn to protect the world of all evil.
I do also want to point out the patterns on Edred's sword and his past self's armor. They seem to be plant patterns, so it is possible he has plant powers, especially as there are flowers and plants featured on this mural. Now, what exactly is this great evil the 3 warriors are fighting? The great evil is this ghostly-looking dragon beast. Originally, Melinda seems to have destroyed it, but it keeps coming back over and over, which is why the three warriors need to be constantly reawakened to fight it. However, there is actually a bit more to this great evil. In the trailers, we see this fox lady, and she has powers that are the same colour scheme as the monster. So it is possible she created the monster, or is linked to it in some way. Even Edred himself seems to think this fox lady is the source of the dragon creature they have been fighting.
She has powers. She might be the evil we've been fighting against.
Anyway, there's also a lot of other bad guys shown in the trailers, but most of them have glowing green eyes. And then we see a scene where the fox lady has similar glowing green eyes. So perhaps she is controlling them. Not only that, but the dragon monster has similar glowing green eyes. Another thing about these statues is that in another scene we see green ghostly versions of them, the same colours as the dragon beast. It is possible that someone, maybe the fox lady, has the ability to turn animals and monsters into ghost beings. So perhaps the statues were turned into ghosts. Anyway, obviously we don't know much about the fox lady or her motives, but she does seem to be the same character as this nine-tailed fox and this nine-tailed fox monster. In one of the trailers, we also see this ghostly monster, which definitely looks like it is related to the dragon monster. And we see these cosmic-looking beings, and maybe they created the dragon monster. They also could have given the fox lady some of their powers. Like, maybe they gave her their powers so she could create or control these other monsters. Now, this guy is Merlin. All we know about the version of Merlin in this series is that he is an ally to the three warriors. And he got this robot, Copernicus, from the future so that the three warriors' souls could be stored in it so they can come back time and time again.
Merlin, the evil will return, and so must you. Your souls will protect the world throughout eternity. This is Copernicus. It will command your souls to return. I have brought him from the future.
Now, I'm actually thinking, what if Merlin is a villain? What if, the whole time, the three warriors have been on the wrong side? It is pretty evil and villainous to take over random people's bodies without their consent and override their souls, basically destroying them. And it was Merlin's idea to do this. And the thing is, Merlin is obviously based off of, or supposed to be, the actual mythical character Merlin, the Wizard of King Arthur, especially since the setting of this show is England. Now, there are a lot of different versions of the mythical figure of Merlin. However, while Merlin is generally depicted as a good guy, his historical portrayals do not always stick to this, and his origins are actually a bit sinister. It is revealed that Merlin's father was actually a demon, and it seems this has become part of Merlin's traditionally accepted backstory. And Merlin's supernatural powers actually come from him being half demon. These powers include shapeshifting. Now, even though Merlin is generally depicted as a good guy, he has used his shapeshifting powers for evil. In the poem Merlin, written by Robert de Boron between the 12th and 13th centuries, Merlin uses his shapeshifting abilities to deceive a woman into sleeping with King Arthur, as he transformed Arthur into the appearance of her husband. Even Merlin himself acknowledges that doing this was wrong and sinful. It should also be noted that this doesn't happen in some random poem. This poem was very influential, and first introduced the idea of the sword in the stone and popularized Merlin's character. In this same poem, the fact that Merlin's father was a demon is expanded on, and it is revealed that Merlin is brought into existence to serve demons and to become the Antichrist, with Merlin intended to deceive those around him and cause them to be sent to hell. Now, Merlin is baptized as a baby, freeing him from the power of Satan, and is guided by God, but he still retains his demonic abilities, And some other texts do depict Merlin as being evil, causing the deaths of many and having a supernaturally evil influence over King Arthur. Not to mention, in one story, Merlin kidnaps some lady and forces her to live with him. The point is, while Merlin is generally seen as the good guy nowadays, not only is he half demon, and his powers come from that, but there are various stories where he is rather evil. So, the version of Merlin in Unicorn Warriors Eternal could very well be evil. And since Merlin is having the 3 warriors' souls be put into random people, what if Merlin is using the energy from the host's souls to power something? Now, the 3 warriors are called the Unicorn. But why? Well, just after Merlin told them that their souls would be put into Copernicus, this happens.
We have the blessing of the magic realm.
A unicorn appears, and Merlin claims that it is a blessing. Now, we are led to believe that this is the reason why the 3 warriors are dubbed Unicorn. However, when Copernicus forces Melinda's soul into Emma, we see he has a unicorn symbol inside of him. So, did Copernicus always have this unicorn symbol inside him? Or did they add it after they got a blessing from a unicorn? It's also interesting how the symbol is hidden behind a mechanism, and is only briefly visible when Copernicus puts the souls into the hosts. I'm thinking that maybe the unicorn symbol was always inside of Copernicus, and Merlin somehow used his powers to cause that unicorn to show up, as the 3 warriors would probably take an alleged blessing from the magical realm very seriously, since they are magical beings themselves. So it is possible that, without the appearance of that unicorn, the 3 warriors may not have agreed to have their souls shoved into unsuspecting host bodies. Also, what if Copernicus was actually human once? A human that was turned into a robot? Merlin says that Copernicus is from the future, and here we see Copernicus interact with a man who appears eerily similar to him. What if this is Copernicus's past self? Now, it is confirmed that Unicorn Warriors Eternal will have 10 episodes, and according to the creator, it is planned to have 4 seasons. But that all depends on how successful the first season is and how many people watch it. So if you want to watch it, the first 2 episodes come out on Adult Swim May 4th at midnight, and the episodes will be available on HBO Max the next day, with new episodes coming out weekly. On May 5th, the series will apparently roll out globally in Latin America, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. It will also air on Cartoon Network in America. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. I'm pretty excited for this show.